Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch a death battle, Roshi vs Jiraiya. Of course, make sure to click on the link in the description below to go to the official release first. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Watch that there, then come back here and we'll watch it together. So yes, Roshi from Dragon Ball versus Jiraiya from Naruto. They're both old, pervy mentors, and now they're gonna fight to the death. I believe last time I said Roshi was from Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z is just what I'm most familiar with saying, but I suppose if we're being more accurate, Roshi started in Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball, right? I really don't know exactly how Dragon Ball relates to Dragon Ball Z, how Dragon Ball Z relates to whatever other series, you know? So, forgive my ignorance. If I say series, at least know that I'm trying. But I do know that Jiraiya appeared in Naruto before Naruto Shippuden, because Jiraiya was the one who taught Naruto how to use the Rasengan. And I believe from the comments, I was told that Roshi was the one who taught Goku how to use the Kamehameha. So that's interesting. I was thinking that I didn't know how powerful Roshi could actually be. Like, I knew that he was a mentor, but I thought that he was the mentor pretty early on, and to my knowledge, he himself hadn't really done things. And I don't know what things he has done. I mean, aside from teaching Goku how to use the Kamehameha, I feel like someone told me something in the comments and it surprised me, but I genuinely don't remember what it is at this point, so I'm gonna have to wait and see what the analysis has to say. But I'm still, like, right now, I'm still inclined to think that Jiraiya would win. And I know that's always dangerous for me to have some sort of idea early on about who would win, because then I feel like I could back myself up into a corner with bias and, like, try to justify it instead of actually being able to properly piece things together and figure things out. So that's always an issue, but that's just the way that I feel right now, and I want to be upfront about my my thoughts. So we're all on the same page, and my reactions might be a little more understandable. But my reasoning for that is, again, from my knowledge, it just seems like Jiraiya is more active throughout more of Naruto than Roshi is throughout Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Like, they're both the mentor characters, but I don't know if Roshi continued to have fights like later into the series, while Jiraiya, to my knowledge, did. Like, we already saw Jiraiya be pretty powerful with his, like, summoning techniques and just ninjutsu in general. I feel like someone's gonna correct me. I just meant, like, ninja stuff. I don't know if it's genjutsu or whatever specifically, but yeah, I just know the Rock Lee does taijutsu. But you know, it seems like from like the preview, there was a clip of Jiraiya that I did not recognize exactly. Like, he looked a little different, and I imagine that he's still fighting and still growing, whereas, again, I'm just not sure that Roshi himself was. So, if there was still development on Jiraiya's end, I wonder if he could have surpassed where Roshi was, you know? That kind of thing. But, obviously, I can't know until I see the analyses, so with that, let's get to watching. And play.
You know what would be a pretty memorable holiday present?
What?
The gift of genetic discovery.
What?
23andMe DNA kits are on sale from now until December 25th. It's a testing service that can provide insight into your ancestry, health, wellness, and traits. And
Okay.
it's super easy to use. Just spit in a tube, mail it in, set up an online account, and
Now,
then
what
they'll
if
send
I
you a
want to
personalized report
pee
in just
in
a
the
few
tube?
weeks. We
Would that
love
be
learning
acceptable?
about the unknown here at Death Battle, so I tried it myself and found out I have a bunch of relatives over in the UK I never knew about. Now until
Now
December
they're
25th,
besties.
get 30% off any 23andMe kit by ordering at 23andMe.com/deathbattle. That's the
Cool.
number 23andme.com/deathbattle.
They do clarify
Again, it's
that they're using the numerical 23,
/deathbattle.
not writing it out. But anyway, yes, it is time for a death battle, everybody. It's Roshi versus Jiraiya.
The finest warriors are never developed on their own. While some are simply molded by their enemies, the best usually seek the wisdom of a master.
Who, for some reason, is a weird old pervert, like Roshi, hurdle hermit and teacher to
Oh, you know what?
Dragon
He's a
Ball's
little more buff
greatest
than
hero.
I knew.
And Jiraiya,
I didn't know he
the
was
toad
ripped.
sage and instructor to the most famous ninja
Roshi
of
is
all.
shredded, apparently.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Goku is, without a doubt, one of the greatest martial arts champions of all time.
Well, yeah, he's good enough to rival gods, become a Super Saiyan, and even master Ultra Instinct.
But he never
I don't know
would
what
have
that
achieved
is.
any of it without the guidance of Master Roshi.
A martial artist
See, he doesn't
who's
look
so
that tough.
powerful, there's only one thing in the world that can stop him. Well, two things, really, if you get
That's
what I mean.
fair.
I know your game, old man, and I don't want to play.
She just has a gun
Anyway,
and terrible
when he
aim.
was a hip youngin', Roshi studied under the legendary Master Potato.
Mutaito,
and a kitty cat. These masters of ass whooping taught Roshi how to weaponize his own life energy, or ki.
Similar to many real-life Chinese martial arts, ki is a vital energy all living beings possess. The stronger and more focused you are, the greater your ki becomes.
Roshi can use his ki
Okay.
to increase his power, pushing past his physical limits with a bunch of awesome techniques.
Interesting.
He can fire explosive shots, go buff mode, stun foes with Thunder Shock Surprise, and even seal dangerous enemies away with the evil containment wave.
It wasn't long until Roshi refined these techniques and created his own martial arts style, Turtle School.
Creepy old man turtle school, creepy old man turtle school. Roshi in a half shell, he's a turtle man.
Kind
no,
of.
it's not about beating people up as slow as you can like I first thought. Turtle School, or Kame style, includes everything from tricky pressure point combat to a phony drunken style, which, if you ask me, is just a missed opportunity to get wasted.
By delivering milk up a mountain, plowing a field with bare hands, working construction with simple tools, and being chased by both sharks and bees, all while wearing a 50-pound shell, Roshi's martial art focuses on breaking the wall of humanity in every way. Except for one.
And he almost jumped.
Despite most of his students learning it at some point, flight is actually a technique developed by his rivals, the Crane School. Apparently, Roshi's just been a bit too stubborn to properly learn the skill, even after centuries of experience.
He should probably
How long has he
stop
been
that.
doing this?
Well, it's a little vague, but thanks to either a pet phoenix he accidentally killed, or the mysterious paradise herb, he's just shy of 360 years old.
Go
I'm
him.
just impressed he can
That's
still
good.
get it up for the girls after all that time.
Boomstick, that's... Well, I mean, yes, I guess medically speaking it is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Where can I get me some of this paradise grass? I want to be chasing tail for centuries.
Good luck with that. But with all of those years spent honing his talents, Roshi dedicated 50 of them to developing one revolutionary technique.
Kame! Kame!
You can't do it. Okay, good.
Anyway,
Ah!
Gotcha!
It worked.
anyway, to be honest, devastating is an understatement.
Well, yeah, he blew up a whole freaking mountain with it.
This peak was inspired by the real-life flaming mountains in China, standing up to 2,600 feet tall. With this in mind, we can find that to pulverize such a mountain, Roshi's Kamehameha must equal nearly 4 gigatons of TNT.
But
Yes.
that's small stuff compared to the time he obliterated the entire moon in about
Oh!
5 seconds.
That's the
gotta be
the
worth,
thing that
what,
people
like
in the comments
10,
told me.
20 mountains? Wiz, how many mountains make a moon?
Well, more like 35 billion. To obliterate the moon in its entirety, the Kamehameha must have struck it with a force akin to 3 octillion tons of TNT.
Octillion. I'm very
That's,
familiar with that number.
27 zeros, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Holy shit, Roshi's also super fast. He can fight an entire battle in a blink of an eye.
Which might seem crazy, but Roshi is also able to snatch bullets out of the air that are fired at him from point-blank range.
Wow.
That gun looks like a British Sten, which can fire up to 600 rounds per minute at a muzzle velocity of nearly 1,200 feet per second.
That means Roshi would have to react to the first bullet within 5 milliseconds. Additionally, each consecutive bullet would reach him just shy of 17 milliseconds apart. The maximum distance between any given shot looks to be about 3 feet, which means he would have to be moving at 180 feet per second in order to catch them all.
Oh, if my hands could move that fast, I'd finally stop getting married.
Did y'all see the gesture?
This
I
speed
know,
is
I know,
far
Wiz.
from his limit, but Roshi's true talent is ensuring his students grow further and further than himself every day. Sadly, Roshi's frailty of age means his body can't always express just how powerful he really is.
And using too much ki energy can cause all sorts of problems, like when his master Pistachio died using the evil containment wave.
But while Roshi's pupils may surpass him, he remains one of the smartest fighters on Earth.
He's tough enough to take down dozens of Frieza's soldiers and survived a beatdown from an alternate universe wannabe Frieza. He even took a barrage of death rays like a champ, the same move that killed Vegeta many, many years ago.
And in the Dragon Ball Super manga, Roshi is shown to be so collected in battle, his movements sort of emulate those of Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, that's
Again, I don't know what
technically
Ultra Instinct
canon,
is.
But it does go to show how far Roshi's training can take him.
I don't think you explained
And it's
that.
safe to say that this old, perverted, but genius of a man will never stop training.
Well, good for Roshi. Definitely more powerful than I had originally anticipated. So
Among
let's see
the
what Jiraiya
ninja of the
has.
Hidden Leaf Village, few are quite as impressive as Naruto Uzumaki.
Yeah,
I
I
like
know
the
that's
shadow.
crazy, cause, you know, but not just anyone can fight aliens on the moon and become president of Hidden Valley Ranch.
Naruto would become the Hidden Leaf's greatest champion and 7th Hokage, but this would never have been possible without his training under the dynamic Toad Sage and legendary Sannin, Jiraiya the Gallant.
Gallant, huh? Hey, Wiz, why do the most badass old dudes always turn out to be weird pervs?
Well, don't let his crude demeanor fool you.
Oh, don't worry about me, Wiz. This ain't my first trip to Secret Leaf Ninja Town. Nothing surprises me anymore. What the f?
Okay. Had to be a break.
Anyway, Jiraiya
I was not
originally
expecting
learned
that.
the Shinobi way from the 3rd Hokage, who taught him how to use his chakra to do ninja magic.
Similar to ki, chakra is a form of
I wanna
life
talk about how
energy.
Wiz just
In
used
Hindu
chakra
and Buddhist
himself, but
theologies, chakras
it's
are,
distracting.
in simplistic terms, gates within the human body, which can be embraced to achieve enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the world of Naruto, chakra is used to perform amazing ninja techniques called jutsus.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Like most ninja, Jiraiya learned about 4 types of jutsus. Taijutsu, or hand-to-hand combat, ninjutsu, harnessing chakra as elemental weapons and tools, genjutsu, which covers illusion and mental manipulation, and senjutsu, a method of utilizing naturally occurring energy as an extension of one's self.
I don't remember
Jiraiya
Senjutsu.
mastered as many styles as he could, and even learned one of the greatest ninjutsu attacks out there, the Rasengan. With this, he gathers his chakra into a spinning orb of death modeled off the ultra-destructive tailed beast bomb. And that thing can
Yay.
wipe out a whole village all at once.
Yay.
And on the
Well,
weird
that
side,
could,
he can
not the
sharpen
Rasengan
his
necessarily.
twisted sister mane into a shield like a porcupine and fire the hairs out like a needle gun.
Possessing a keen and mischievous mind, Jiraiya spent plenty of time developing brand new techniques, such as the invisibility jutsu, which you'd think would be perfect for stealth or assassination missions, but he actually developed it specifically for,
What do you think?
Research? Where else is a self-respecting writer supposed to get his, inspiration from?
Clearly, Jiraiya sometimes took his tinkering a bit too far. On one such occasion, he accidentally teleported himself to a mystical land full of giant talking toads.
Oh,
Wiz, you
that's
sure
how it
jutsu
happened.
isn't just like another name for crack?
After befriending the toads, Jiraiya trained under the sage Fukasaku.
Where he learned a bunch of fire release techniques, like the toad oil bullet and flame bullet attacks. Now that's one impressive loogie.
Jiraiya entered a pact with the toads, learning their ways and summoning them to the field of battle, as his own talents relied on trickery over brute force, such as hiding in shadows and manipulating his opponent's movements. The powerful toads were perfect allies.
Ah.
He can trap his foe inside a toad's throat, transform them into toads for interrogation,
Okay.
or even call a gigantic amphibian warrior to his side.
Like the biggest grump you've ever seen. Gamabunta.
I am the wise and powerful Lord Gamabunta, the Chief Toad, and you're an idiot! Now shut up!
Oh, Bunta, you crotchety old toad.
And through Fukasaku's teachings, Jiraiya perfected the art of senjutsu. Through their combined efforts, he entered a new mighty form called Sage Mode.
Well, it takes a long time to get into. Sage Mode Jiraiya can do all sorts of things he couldn't before.
Like the unpredictable martial art Frog Kata, and a deadly genjutsu, the demonic illusion Toad Confrontation Chant.
Which sounds
What does that mean?
weird, so why don't we just call it your jutsu? Cause if you get caught, your soul is trapped by these big guys who desperately want a high five, leaving your physical body totally open to a swift kill.
Oh.
Sage Mode also enhances Jiraiya's other abilities, turning his normal Rasengan into the unstoppable Big Ball Rasengan.
Big
which,
Ball.
according to the official databooks, is strong enough to carve away a mountain.
Wiz, he's way more than just a mountain smasher. Jiraiya is quick enough to fight some of the fastest ninja around, like Kakashi and Itachi, some of which are fast enough to intercept lightning.
The leader
Yeah.
of a lightning bolt moves around 220,000 miles per hour, putting ninja like Jiraiya around speeds of Mach 280.
Now I get why ninja are so awesome. Who needs guns when you're more than 100 times faster than bullets?
Right.
While Jiraiya isn't exactly the strongest or fastest ninja around, he's certainly one of the most clever. Over time, he rose to become a legendary ninja and hero of his people, hailed by the honorable title of Sannin.
And he's a gutsy one, like when he used his tricks to take out 3 of the 6 members of the emo rock band Pain before they tore his arm off, crushed his throat, and impaled him 5 times.
But even while suffering excruciating agony, Jiraiya proved strong enough to power through and send a vital message to his most promising pupil, paving the way for the next generation of heroes before being swept off his feet one last time.
You know, I guess he was a pretty gallant guy after all.
Aww.
As you can see, you failed! Jiraiya the Toad Sage falls victim to no woman's charm. Rare beauties fall for me! When you reach the stature I have, the ladies worship at your
I'm really not used to English dub.
All right, the combatants
To
are
each their own.
Let's end this debate
Just-
once and for all.
But first,
All right.
if you're as hungry as I am,
All right,
for
I
this
gotta
fight,
skip the
you
commercial,
may be
right.
interested in Blue
See you
Apron.
soon. It's time for a death battle and pause. All right, talking about, well, making our prediction. Now I think that Roshi is going to win. You know, I was leaning toward Jiraiya at the beginning, but after seeing what Roshi was actually capable of, like, I thought that for the most part, Roshi was kind of off on the sidelines throughout, like, Dragon Ball Z and stuff as things progressed and got more and more deadly. But it seems like he was pretty active. I mean, even if only in the Frieza saga, which now to my knowledge is like the first one, right? Even if he was only fighting people there, that's still really powerful. And then, like, I have to think of a couple things. Like, one, the time that Roshi took just to master or, like, develop the Kamehameha, Jiraiya was alive. As in, like, I think Jiraiya was 54 years old or something, and Roshi was, like, 354 or something like that, you know? Roshi has just had... He's lived a long time, a lot longer than Jiraiya has, and I feel like with that comes a lot more experience. They're both really clever on the battlefield and whatnot, but I think that Roshi, you know, has the upper hand with experience, just given his years and how much of that he's committed to training, and training others too. Even if he is a little stubborn and only, like, and refuses to engage in other styles, I still think, yeah. The speed I'm not entirely sure about, so like Roshi caught the bullets, but Jiraiya was able to keep up with people who like intercepted lightning. I think that Jiraiya's feat is faster, I could be wrong. But then like, sure, they gave that as a feat for Roshi, but if he's actually like keeping up with all of these fighters who are like doing instant transmission and stuff, I assume that's a thing, or flying around, whatnot, like those guys are really fast in Dragon Ball Z, right? So if he's keeping up with them, even if he can't go as quickly, if he can, like, think quickly enough, I think that he could handle Jiraiya even with that speed difference. And then if we're just talking about power, you know, with Jiraiya, they have, like, the Big Ball Rasengan, I think is what it was called. And it's like, you know, it's powerful enough to, like, wipe away mountains or clear away mountains or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Well, Roshi obliterated the moon. So, you know, like, I think he could handle that. And then if he could survive blasts, like if he could just tank a bunch of those death ray blasts or whatever, I forget what it's called, that, you know, Vegeta died to. Again, this is relatively early on in the series to my knowledge, but still, I think that Roshi should probably be able to tank a lot of Jiraiya's attacks too. I think the most questionable thing, you know, as far as like what could make Roshi lose, is the whole like his soul being trapped by the 4 giant frog things and his body being just left to be killed. But I'm hoping that he would have a way around that. I don't know, obviously enough, but hopefully he could at least avoid being captured in that kind of thing in the first place. But all in all, I feel like Roshi is more durable, he has more experience, and is probably smarter, you know, more intelligent, or at least more clever. Hard to say. I do think that Jiraiya might have a little more versatility on his side. But I just think that all in all, Roshi has more going for him. So I'm going to say that Roshi is going to win this one and play.
Ooh, this store's really close by. I don't know why.
Who's this?
Hey, fuzz for brains. Where are the pictures? It's just words in here.
Pictures?
You didn't pay for that!
Fool! Words paint 1,000 beautiful pictures all by themselves!
That's not how the saying goes. It's a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's different.
Geez, don't take it personally. Not like you wrote the damn thing.
But I did!
This is the weirdest start to a fight. There is a story. It's just so bizarre. Are they in the frog throat? Ew.
You're stuck now, Baldy.
Woo! It's not over yet. Hello, Frog. Oh, goodbye, Frog. Frog's gone. He's the real loser in this death battle.
Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Oh, snap, you're so fast. Dodge it, Roshi! I'm counting on you to win this for me.
Rasengan!
Oh no! Leave that house alone! Oh, he's just drilling that thing into him.
Summoning Jutsu!
You just did that on the water? Does that work?
Jiraiya, you buffoon! What's this about?
Hey there! Can you buy me some time?
What? I'm not your servant. I'm the chief to... Get off my lawn! Water style, liquid bullet!
Come on, Roshi. I want you to win this one, but the fact that Jiraiya asked for time does make me a little concerned. I'm still hoping Roshi can pull through.
Emo containment way! Screw you pervert!
Only a coward lets others do their fighting for them.
You have no
So
idea.
is he Sage mode
I've been
now?
back on the beach the whole time.
He is, by the way, to confirm. Yeah, the Kamehameha is way more powerful than the big ball Rasengan. Or Rasengan, I don't know how you say it.
You old fool.
Well-
I can't believe you fell for that. Let's end this.
Wait, what happened there? He still did it!
Talk about a whole new way to win.
Jiraiya was certainly
Confuse
one of the
them.
most powerful warriors of his own world, but there's no question that Roshi's sheer might outclassed him.
One
Yeah.
guy can break a mountain, the other can break a moon.
Yeah.
So that was pretty obvious.
The speed comparison wasn't quite so clear-cut, though. While his unseen battle with Krillin was incredibly quick, Roshi's never personally shown speeds as fast as the lightning feats Jiraiya scaled to.
But he did hold his own in the Tournament of Power against Planet and Galaxy Busters. Also, in Goku's training right after Korin's, he actually had to dodge lightning. Roshi's own training didn't stop after chasing the kitty around, and neither did his kitty chasing. So,
Right.
scaled to Goku's progress, it makes sense that he'd be able to match Jiraiya's speed, and probably even surpass it.
Still, it
Okay,
would be reasonable
fair.
to believe Jiraiya could use his tactical talent to outsmart and outlast Roshi.
Except Roshi's a smart fighter too. Not only does he have way more experience thanks to his super age, but
Yeah.
he's got an eye for traps in sticky situations. Like when he figured out the illusion powers of the talisman fighter Derkori.
And remember, it took only 15 seconds for Roshi's Kamehameha to reach the moon. Given the moon's distance of over 200,000 miles from the surface of the Earth, this means the beam must have traveled over 57 million miles per hour.
That's a
more
lot.
than 260 times faster than lightning. There was no way Jiraiya could avoid Roshi's trademark move for very long.
Sure, Jiraiya might be a
I'm just
crafty
surprised the
ninja,
Rasengan
but all that
was able
doesn't
to
boil down to much more than
withstand it.
tricks against someone like Roshi.
Roshi was simply faster, stronger, and had way more experience.
And that's why Jiraiya croaked when
So
Roshi
the very end
beat
there,
him
was
to
that
the
just
punch.
momentum carrying
The winner
Roshi's
is
fist
Master
into
Roshi.
Jiraiya? I still don't get how that worked exactly. It's just because he was already charging toward
it.
it.
Click the box right over there. And if you want the battle music from this episode, you can download it by clicking the link below.
Alright, so next time on Death Battle, we have... Okay, is it Darkseid versus Thanos? I was right. Well, I got the order wrong, but it's Thanos versus Darkseid. Hey! I'm surprised I actually got Darkseid's name right. That's the dude who killed Superman, right? Watch me potentially throw all credibility out the window there. Not that you guys should know I'm not credible as far as knowing characters goes. Alright, well that's interesting. I mean, well, just to get that out of the way, I don't have too much to say regarding Thanos versus Darkseid. I guess we'll see. I frankly don't know how powerful either of them are. Like, I've seen, you know, the newest Avengers movie, but I don't know if that's the same as, like, he would be in the comics, because the comics always seem to have more powerful feats, you know? And then at the same time, while I think that Darkseid is the one who killed Superman, I think that there were some circumstances surrounding that kind of made it possible. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily... I don't think we could take it just as he defeated Superman. Maybe we can. Maybe he is actually that powerful. But I just don't know enough about Darkseid to say anything more. So about this fight... Yeah, I was right. Go me. Once again, I'm glad that I was able to, one, get it right, but then two, also look at some of the feats and actually make accurate kind of predictions as far as, like, you know, the mountain clearing versus the moon busting, you know, the speed, you know, how I wasn't sure that, like, Roshi was actually fast enough, but, and then looking at their experience with how old they were, you know, I'm just happy that I was able to look at those particular things, remember enough information to actually be able to come up with my own answer in the end. I was concerned at the very end when Roshi was dragged into that, again, the surrounded by the four toads thing, because that was the one thing I was like, I'm not sure if he could stand that, just because, I don't know. And I still am not sure how he won after that point. I really do think it was just he was already charging at Jiraiya with his fist extended at such high speed that the pressure of it when it connected just tore him apart. I just assume that's what happened. Because, like, Roshi was clearly confused when he, like, snapped out of it in the water and Jiraiya was dead. So I imagine that is what happened. So that's an interesting use of momentum right there. I do though think that that would have been the result even in a, like, different scenario, you know? Again, with, like, the idea of Death Battle, I won't say it's a rule at this point, but the general idea is if the two characters met, who would win in the majority of situations kind of thing. Just because you can't always take into account, well, this person could survive lava, and thankfully they were fighting in lava, so the other person had no chance. You know, like, you can't be that specific. You have to think about it in general situations, who most of the time would win in an encounter between the two. Just to try to make it as much of an even playing field as possible, that kind of thing. I really do think that the Kamehameha would have just gotten through the Big Ball Rasengan. I don't think that Roshi would have had to then charge him, and I don't think Jiraiya would have had that opportunity to put him in the ice cube, you know? I think that was just for the sake of making a more entertaining animation, but just comparing the power, I don't see how the Rasengan would be able to withstand the force of that Kamehameha wave. I think it just would have blasted through it and, you know, disintegrated Jiraiya, basically. But it works, you know, whatever. It works. I did think the animation was fun. It wasn't necessarily as cool as some of the other fights, but I think that fit really well for these two characters, because they are a little bit more comical, you know? The way that it started, again, like, there was a story, but the story itself was not what I expected. Roshi walks in, I did like his mutterings about how, like, the store was nearby, like, wonder why I haven't been here. Like, it was amusing. And then the reason they started fighting was just over porn. Basically, Roshi wanted images and Jiraiya was offended because I forgot that he was a writer. If that was ever revealed in the times where I had watched Naruto, I completely forgot about it. So interesting and a nice way to tie that in. I definitely think that they exaggerated the characters in that regard. Like, I don't think that the two would have actually started fighting each other over something as petty as that. But I still enjoyed it. It made for an entertaining story. So I liked this death battle. Not my favorite death battle, but I thought it was very enjoyable, very entertaining. So it's a good one. It's one that I would recommend to other people, but if you're already watching this, you should have already watched it on roosterteeth.com or on Screw-Tech's channel, and then you should have watched this one. So by that point, you would see it like twice already. point is, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And I will see you guys in the next Death Battle reaction. Or if you guys would like, maybe you don't know this, but I play games, like, every day. So you can watch those videos, too. But anyway, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!